Before you bite into this chicken empanada at your next get-together, you may want to rethink it. We're all faced with many choices, and they all look and smell so good, but ooh, right to the waist. Some of these things loaded in fat and calories. We've got Kimberly Garrison joining us now from One-on-One Fitness. And Kimberly, I've put out quite a spread here. I think it's pretty impressive, but the more I talk to you, the more I rethink this empanada. This looks innocent enough. Filled with chicken, that's healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
it can be. It's not the chicken, Cindy. It's the outer covering, the shell that has most of the calories and most of the fat. It's sort of like having a pie. Most of the calories in a pie is in the pie crust. And that innocent little empanada there is about 200 calories. And it has quite a bit of fat and saturated fat in it as well.
okay, so maybe this wouldn't be the best choice.
That would not be the best choice.
Okay, firecrackers, kind of the same thing. This one's filled with beef and cheese, I think.
Well, the firecracker, you know, is pretty much on the same path as the chicken empanada.
Okay, it's hard because they look so innocent. Look at these little cheese souffles here.
No, they look just so innocent.
Pop in your mouth.
And you could pop several of them in your mouth, but they're going to cost you.
Really? How much? How bad is it?
Well, for about 4 of those little cheese souffles, it'd be about 400 calories. Yes.
Oh, I will not tell you how many I've had in one sitting in the past. Now, these are good, these little quiches.
And the quiches, well, they're even more decadent than the cheese by itself.
It's just egg and spinach. That's good for you.
There's a lot of egg yolk in there. And the same thing for that, it's about 400 or 500 calories for about 4 of those. And that has about 17 grams of fat.
Oh, Kimberly. And
Yes.
we all know, we've all done it. You sit back and next thing you know, you've had 10.
Exactly.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Look at these lovely little crab cakes here. They look good enough and small and dainty.
Yes, crab cakes. We all love those little teeny crab cake hors d'oeuvres. However, they're quite loaded with a lot of fat. It's not the crab, it is the outer shell that causes the crab appetizer to be so heavily laden with calories and fat.
Well, I did put something out here that I think you might approve of. I've got some cooked shrimp.
That is by far the best choice here. Just steamed shrimp with a little cocktail sauce, you can't go wrong. You can pop easily 7 or 8 shrimp in your mouth and cost you maybe 150 calories. So that's your best choice.
How many, 8 or 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that easily. Okay, now, nuts?
Nuts. Nuts are great overall. Now, if you're faced with nothing else and you just have, you know, nuts
Versus chips?
versus chips, go with nuts.
Okay.
The better between these nuts, the almonds are good for you. However, this almond has been processed and it has a lot of salt on it. As we can see right here, all the sodium that's on there, and it has some other additives that they put on them. These peanuts, which is just peanuts in the shell, that would be your absolute best choice.
Okay.
An ounce of nuts, however, no matter which one you to go with, is 200 calories for 1 ounce.
How much is an ounce?
An ounce looks like the bag that they used to give you at the airport on the plane. Right.
These are so good.
So they should just fit very nicely in the palm of your hand like that. That's about an ounce.
And that's it for the night?
That's it for the night.
Oh my gosh.
That's your serving of nuts.
All right, now I've got cold cuts here, which a lot of people think are probably not too bad because you've got turkey and lean ham and another lean ham over here. But is there anything wrong with that?
Well, cold cuts as a rule are very high in sodium and high in sugar.
Oh.
And they're highly processed foods. So the more processed the food is, the less nutrition you're going to likely get in it. So if it was real turkey and real ham, then have 1 or 2 ounces of that at the party, but try to avoid the cold cuts because you're going to get a lot of extra sodium that you really don't need, and sugar as well.
And a couple of 100 milligrams of sodium too.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Cheese. Everybody loves cheese. Got some cheddar here, and I've got some Swiss.
Exactly.
And I've got some cream cheese with mousse, salmon moussey kind of stuff.
Right. Well, if you're stuck with those 3 choices, take the Swiss cheese over the cheddar cheese and the mousse. Cheese, as a general rule, 1 ounce. Okay. An ounce looks like those little squares that you typically see at parties with a little toothpick, and that's 100 calories to 120 calories, and you know, maybe 80% of those calories come from fat.
Oh gosh.
But you'll get a little calcium in there, so long as you have 1 or 2, you're not going to be too bad off.
I guess the roast beef and the prosciutto is pretty much the same thing, right?
Well, the roast beef would be a better choice between these two items because this one, again, is packed with a lot of sodium.
Okay, well, I can't help myself. Sorry. That's all I'm going to have. Now we've got some crackers here because, I mean, you can't have crackers without, you can't have cheese without crackers.
Absolutely, and we all love crackers. Now, between these three types of crackers, we have wheat thins here, Triscuits,
and water
crackers. Your Triscuit is going to be your best choice of cracker. Okay, it's going to have some fiber in there. I believe there are 3 grams of fiber per serving in the Triscuit. 1 gram in the wheat thins and absolutely none in the water crackers.
And these seem so innocent because they're so light and airy.
I know. We love those water crackers.
And you think water instead of oil.
Exactly. But the Triscuit is the better choice there, and it's also lower in calorie than the wheat thin.
Wow. And even though the wheat thin said on the box it was calorie reduced, this is still better for you.
Exactly.
Less fat.
Exactly. And sodium also.
Right. And we've got some salsa here, which is what we should use for our chips maybe instead of our cheese.
Absolutely. If you're faced with that choice, the salsa, there is going to be some high sodium in salsas most of the time, but it'll be a better choice between that and the cream cheese dip.
Okay.
You're absolutely not getting any additional fat in using that. And between these choices,
we've got some baked Doritos.
Okay.
We've got some pork rinds, which are very popular these days because people think they're actually a healthy alternative. Got my favorites over here, Cheetos. We also have some pretzels, which I also have heard in the past are okay, a good choice. What would your best choice be?
The 2 best choices here would be the pretzels. Okay, the pretzels are absolutely fat-free. They're going to be higher in sodium. Okay, but they're, relatively lower in calorie than this and this. This is absolutely the most fattening of all the 4 choices. I know your personal favorite.
So I'll try to avoid that bowl, but you think the baked?
And the baked Doritos is an excellent choice. They're like 3 grams of fat per serving. And again, 1 ounce is a serving of all of these items. And an ounce looks like the little teeny bag that you would give your little child in their lunch pail. That's what an ounce of any of these snacks looks like.
Okay, well, in an ideal world, Kimberly, we'll have the willpower to not go for all these really fat-laden foods. But finally, what do you recommend people do before they go to the party?
Eat before you go to the party. Preferably maybe some fruit. Maybe cut up some oranges and eat 2 oranges before you go out. That'll help give you some extra fiber. It'll be low in calorie. 2 oranges is about 120 calories. Or have a Granny Smith apple and smear a tablespoon of peanut butter on it. It'll make you satisfied and you won't go in there ravenous and eat everything that's on the table.
I think people sometimes eat out of nerves too. They're nervous.
Oh, absolutely.
They're amongst people they don't necessarily know. They park themselves next to the hors d'oeuvres and keep their hands busy and their mouths busy so they don't have to talk, perhaps.
Exactly, that happens. And so ladies should always carry a purse that they have to carry in one hand and keep the other one filled with water.
Right, okay. Keep your hands full, that's all there is. And don't park yourself right next to the hors d'oeuvres.
Exactly, and don't have a handbag that goes on the shoulder, in the hand.
Tricks of the trade. Good for you. Kimberly Garrison, you can get a hold of Kimberly if you need more information at oneononeultimatefitness.com.